Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Should Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using the Sun Chaser collection by Heidi Swapp. I love this kind of watercolor striped paper here, but this is going to be a layout for my son's album. And so I knew I just kind of wanted the blue, the teals, and the yellow. And so I cut it on a diagonal. So I just had those colors there. I do kind of wish the diagonal would have been higher up, I guess. But because I was being too picky and only wanted those colors, it had to be kind of short. So I have these two photos of a morning kind of sunrise in Florida. And I just thought kind of the light teal kind of grid background looked amazing with these photos. It kind of has that color scheme in it, I guess. And so I decided to use those. Sorry, my aunt was giving me some money. She owed me a couple of dollars and she threw it in while I was recording. I did this layout during a scrapbook weekend. And so we had my mom, cousin, aunt, and a friend, and just had lots of fun. So sorry about that. I have this yellow paper. This is not from the Sun Chaser collection. I got this at a scrapbook store that's in the same city as this retreat, and decided to kind of bring in some kind of a darker yellow and offset my photos onto that. Then kind of went to work in figuring out how I was going to embellish this layout. This one took me a little while to figure out how to embellish. I think I was even looking at a layout to kind of scrap lift, and it still took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do. So I'm going through the ephemera pieces, trying to pick out things that maybe I want to use, and picked out those tags at the top. I knew I wanted to use tags, and so I just kind of set those out, and a couple other pieces that I thought would work good for this layout I just set in on top of the layout, I guess. Then I kind of just really had to kind of play around with what I wanted to do. You can see that I have all of these great pieces, and yet I still kind of struggle with how I want to embellish the layout. So I have some ephemera pieces to the left there from the Spectrum Sherbet collection from 49 Market. And that collection works wonderfully with the Sun Chaser collection. The colors matched perfectly, and just a really good match to kind of just give yourself even more options for embellishments or papers. So really, if you kind of like what you see, I definitely recommend checking out both collections. So the Sun Chaser from Heidi Swapp, and then Spectrum Sherbet from 49 and Market. For the Spectrum Sherbet, they actually have kind of different ephemera packs for different color schemes. So I went with the blues and the greens for my boys because I'm always searching for ephemera for them. But they also have like the yellow, pink, and orange ephemera pack as well. So just so many different options with that collection. So you can see that I did cut a couple of tags freehand out of a couple of the papers from the Sun Chaser collection, and then that middle one is a tag from the 49 Market ephemera pack, sorry. I think I was just too lazy to get up, and I have a tag die, but I did not use it. So I just got my own. It works. I knew kind of what size I wanted. I kind of wanted them a little bit skinnier, and so I just kind of freehanded it. So that kind of is the base for some embellishing for the left-hand side. I went to the sticker sheets and found some phrase stickers. One is a puffy sticker. The other ones are just phrase stickers. Again, just sticking with the color scheme. And I am just loving all of the different phrases. It's just perfect. With the tags, I decided to go ahead and just use an enamel dot covering the hole instead of twine. That is one thing I did not bring with me on the scrapbook weekend, and so if I don't use enamel dots or if I don't use twine, sorry, a lot of times I'll use enamel dots to kind of cover up the hole, and it just kind of gives you, I don't know, a different kind of look, I guess. So I wanted to use that joyful. I thought it was really cute in the bottom right. And then there was this really pretty cloud, the same color. And so I'm kind of going to layer that on the bottom right for a cluster. But this top little bit just really kind of threw me for a loop, I guess. So I use that tag. But again, I'm looking through the ephemera pack and didn't find one that I really wanted to use. So instead, I believe I'm going to cut 2 more freehand out of the papers. One is going to be the same as on the bottom, or on the left hand side, that polka dotted paper I'm going to use and make my own tag. And then I decided to bring in some yellow to that top, and so I used that background or that base for my photos and cut that paper out for another tag as well. I knew that I kind of wanted them different lengths. I wanted to kind of stagger them, and so I actually end up, I think, cutting the pre-made tag down a little bit, so I'll be able to use that, at least the back side. I think I cut it because I just didn't want to waste that rose gold on it, and the rest of it was going to be covered up anyways. So that's kind of, I don't know why I just have a random square now, but I can then cut that into a tag if I feel like it for a future layout. So I am going to kind of stagger those for a cluster at the top. Again, I'm going to use the enamel dots to cover up the holes there because I did it for the other ones. And one thing I did do or use a lot during this scrapbook weekend was enamel dots. I've kind of gone away from it recently, but now I'm starting to kind of go back to it a little bit more. So I have so many, and so I just want to kind of use them up. So I've been using them quite a bit on my layouts. So I added a puffy heart and then a little phrase sticker, and then I'm going to use some of these definitions. I love that Heidi Swapp does that and has kind of definitions that are just perfect for the collection, and I loved these ones because they were all kinds of colors. It was kind of like an ombre feel to it, and just really loved the way that that sticker sheet looks, and the phrases on them are just perfect. So I end up covering up the hole. That joyful circle and would have been a tag, could have been a tag, but I covered it up with the cloud. I just thought that was really cute. Again, added some enamel dots there off camera because I got them after I went to the scrapbook weekend, but off camera I do add an epoxy flare to that bottom cluster from Scrap and Happy Studio. I am absolutely loving them. That was my first order, and I kind of, after I came back from the scrapbook weekend and got my order, I went back through my layouts and added them to some of the layouts because I kind of had ordered them knowing that I was going to use the Sun Chaser and then the Sweet Rush collection by Vicki Boutin too, and so I ordered a bunch of summery, tropical, epoxy and canvas flares from her, and so they just matched perfectly, and I wanted to kind of go back and add them again. So I add this title here, Life is Good, to the top left. I just thought it was kind of too open, and so I added that. I added a couple of enamel dots as well. I like to do them in groups of 3. So there is that epoxy flare there, but I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. Again, this is the Sun Chaser with a little bit of the Spectrum Sherbet by 49 Market. So I will link those collections down below for you if you are interested. We will see you next time. Bye, guys.